Crime reporting is on the rise, but experts say the crime often goes unreported.
Right now, Charlotte FBI agents are working to help make the city safer with a reporting awareness campaign.
FBI Charlotte spokesperson Shelly Lynch is joining us live this morning. Shelly, thanks for being here with us.
Absolutely. Thank you.
This is such an important topic and one a lot of people don't even feel comfortable reporting. How are you all working to make reporting hate crimes easier?
So one of the things that we want to do in this case is to just raise awareness that it is very easy to contact the FBI and let us know if you've become the victim of a hate crime. So we have a variety of ways to do that. On the phone, 1-800-CALL-FBI. We have a tip way on our website as well. And it can be used in any language. If you call, regardless of your language, we will contact a third party and be able to have that person talk to you about your problem and take that report so that we can immediately get into action to investigate a potential crime.
Shelly, can you kind of give us a basic definition of what a hate crime is and what those groups are that seem to be targeted the most?
Absolutely. So a hate crime is a traditional criminal offense, like a murder, an arson, or a vandalism that has an added element of bias. So offender is motivated by someone's race, religion, gender identity, sexual orientation, ethnicity, or even disability.
And Shelly, why is it so important for the FBI to track these numbers? You know, we look at the numbers, but every number and every statistic, there's a human, a person behind that who's hurting.
Absolutely. One hate crime victim is too many. And we don't want anyone to not get justice because they were a victim of a crime because of who they are, because of where they live, because of where they've came from, because of who their parents are, because of how they look. And, you know, really reporting those can be difficult for a person personally. So they may have fear of retaliation. They could be fearful of law enforcement in general. They could be embarrassed. They may be concerned about going public because, you know, many of these cases, you see there's video involved, it goes viral. But what we've seen over the past 5 years is a steady increase in the reporting of hate crime incidents across the country. So, you know, they started with about 5,500 in 2016, and they've risen to the latest hate crime incident reporting to more than 7,600 incidents. But we really believe there's many more than this that go unreported, and we don't want any victim to go without reporting that to us.
Shelly, what do you do with those tips when the reports come in randomly? What do you do with those tips? How does that help you work forward in the investigation?
So we might get information about a potential hate crime in a variety of ways. It could come directly from a victim into one of our call centers or our tip email address, but it also might come from a local law enforcement agency, another partner where potentially they've investigated a hate crime incident that is now potentially a federal hate crime. And so we would have our agents interview witnesses, interview that victim, potential. If we have a suspect identified, we would conduct interviews there as well, gather evidence. It might include surveillance video, and then we're going to conduct a thorough investigation. And what we would do at that point is turn our evidence over to the Department of Justice and the U.S. Attorney's Office, and then they would determine if a hate crime had been committed. Now, the challenging part for hate crimes is they are different than many other traditional crimes and what you have to report and what you have to prove when it's prosecuted. So in this case, you have to actually prove what that person's motivation was for the crime. And that makes it a little bit more challenging. And that's why it's so important to have people come forward, report those incidents to us so that we can fully investigate and hopefully get justice for every single victim.
And Shelly, you all are rolling out a large campaign with messaging to not only potential victims, but how important is it for agencies, large and small, sheriff's offices, small police departments, for those officers to pass that information along to you all to keep track of where we really do stand as a country?
Yeah, so that's how we collect those statistics nationwide every year. And so the latest statistics that are out at this point are from 2020. And we depend on our local law enforcement agencies to provide that information to us. And then that helps us determine, what additional resources we need to put as a federal agency into helping investigate those cases. And that's one of the reasons why we're doing this campaign. So it includes nationwide billboards, ads on gas station pumps, social media ads, and ads on live streaming radios, et cetera. And we also want local law enforcement agencies to be able to use these same resources on their own to put out to their communities so they know how to get in touch with us. And they even include more than a dozen different languages.
Shelly Lynch with FBI here in Charlotte. Thank you for helping us understand a little more how it works, how you work behind the scenes, and trying to keep everyone safe out on the streets. We appreciate it, Shelly. Thank you.
Thank you for your time.